Today on Richard Rides a Bus, I'm going to hike across Mount Hood. So I just got off the Max, or the light rail in Gresham, and now I'm going to transfer to the Hood River Express or the Sandy Local, one of those buses, and then traverse across. Once I get to Timberline Lodge, which is the last stop, go for a hike across, following most of the Pacific Crest Trail to Cascade Locks. And there's a bus that goes through the gorge also. So far this hike has been not challenging at all. It's been mostly sitting on a bus for 2 hours. So, I mean, there's challenges there, but different challenges than normal. Either way, so far it's going well.
Good meet you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the ride. All right. Trip's finally started properly. Got off the bus at Timberline Lodge, which apparently is still operating here in July for downhill skiing. I don't know how good the snow is, but it's July. I know it's slushy under my shoes. As so far as the busing goes, no drama. Well, okay, a little bit of drama. Not me drama, but the light rail in Portland seems to always have some sort of drama. I would have filmed my departure, except somebody had been hit in the head with a wrench and was bleeding, and he went to his house to, I assume, get a gun to meet the other guy. This had happened minutes before I arrived, so I don't really know what happened. Either way, there was a lot of swearing. Otherwise, standard Max things with people who want to talk to you about nothing. But overall, like, it was fine. No big deal. And then the other buses were a lot more white bread, just vanilla. Now, it was pretty obvious when I got on the bus to Sandy, and 2 other guys had backpacks. Out of the 7 people on the bus, 3 of us were ready to do the Timberline Trail. Well, I'm doing part of it. Did chat with those guys. It looks like they are going to camp at the Climbers Base Camp tonight, because it's the last bus out. It's about 7:30, and I have about 2 hours of sunlight left. So I'm trying to get to Paradise, like it's a Paradise Meadow or Paradise Trail, and there's quite a few campsites there. That's about 5 miles, so it's pushing it. Alternatively, they're just staying here, so good for them. But I've got things to do, places to hike, videos to record. It's not that bad, but there's a little bit of sand in the air. Since I'm hiking at the very end of the day, this is what the cinematographers, directors, producers, movie people would call the golden hour. It's, I guess for today, it really is an hour, because it's like, what, July 3rd? The day is, God, what, 14 hours long, 15. But yeah, look at that golden color and long shadows. And oh God, look at the talent. Oh, come on. Why can't we hire somebody better than this? Oh, he needs to shave. He needs to exercise. Kid, you're never gonna make it in Hollywood. You're not even funny. Not even funny looking. Meh. All right, there's the magic of the golden hour perfected for you. All right, day one. This is where we're camping for the night. Not as far as I had originally planned. I think my intended campsite, at the Paradise Loop, is another half mile, 1 mile. Probably about 1,000 meters if we really want to be careful. But this will do. Immediately, it looks like it's getting dark, but it's not as bad as it seems. Since I descended into a valley, the sun went behind the rocks, whereas I am on the west side of the mountain. So once I climb out of this ridge, I would be back in sunlight, but I think I only have 15, 30 minutes of dependable light set up camp. So I'll have some lovely white noise tonight with this creek. All right, that's excellent for day one. All right, starting off day two, I've been hiking for hour-ish, maybe hour and a half. I don't know. Finally got to the exit of the Paradise Loop, and so yesterday I did see two hikers who had. They didn't say if they did the full Timberline. I doubt it. I think they did the Paradise Loop and then circled back. And they told me there was a lot of snow, but it was hikeable. And now that I'm seeing the exit, that's a lot of snow. And while I've been hiking on snow, I don't know if I would have liked to have camped there. So the campsite last night worked out well. It was cool. I was genuinely cold, and it slowed down how quickly I got out of the tent. But that was because it was right on the Zigzag River, and that the evaporative cooling cools the area. As soon as I got out of that valley, it was back to being warm. So, but overall, nice campsite last night. This is part of the reason we do it, because we get a nice, pretty picture. I think that's Sandy down there, which I eventually will need to cross. So that would mean Ramona Falls is down at the end of the valley. So I'm going to be descending pretty aggressively soon. There's Mount Hood, which I have no idea if this camera will be able to pick that up. This would be a perfect time for the HDR mode, but I'm too lazy. This is Sandy. I specifically haven't stopped for breakfast or anything else because I want to get her as early as possible. The earlier in the day, the easier. But fortunately, there's still no easy options that I can spot. It's 10 a.m. and the water's already pretty fast. So the couple down beneath me, it looks like they're just crossing in bare feet. I'll probably just duplicate that. I don't have shorts, so it'll make my pants wet, but it's safer than trying to rock hop across this area. I don't see any good spots. That's it. And hey, in this weather, my pants will be dry in 30 minutes. All right. Just 300 feet, 100 meters away from the Sandy Creek, I guess at this point, but river. Having lunch. That way my pants have a chance to dry before I put my socks on. And honestly, I haven't really had a meal yet. I've been snacking on granola bars and crackers and all sorts of easy stuff to eat while hiking. because when I'm hiking, I don't get that hungry until it hits. And so this will work well. Give me some time. Today is lasagna with meat sauce. And also, I know that I have water accessible. So using the water for cooking, not a problem. Whereas I think day 3 is going to have very limited water. So then I'll probably be doing more ready to eat meals. We'll find out. Isn't this fun, cooking with Richard? All right, now that I'm out of earshot and people won't think I'm crazy, that was Ramona Falls, major landmark, and there's a dedicated day hike trail, and I think that's where most of those people were coming from. I've actually now segued onto that. So this is the first time in my hike that I am on a trail that I've never done before. When I did the Timberline Trail 4 years ago, we actually camped like right at Ramona Falls. It's beautiful. Also, I was exhausted. So that was day 1 of the hike. That means this is approximately the 10-mile mark. And I have to say, I'm feeling a lot better than I did 4 years ago because I was not happy. Maybe cut to footage if I can find it from that hike. And here, I'm definitely feeling it now. Like, my shoulders are starting to ache a little. Getting up from my brunch was a little tricky. But I'm not worried about, like, keeping up pace. Whereas there, if I had gotten cell service next to a road, I probably would have been calling an Uber. But that was the first hike I did in like 20 years. So that was what inspired me to continue hiking. And now I'm here all on my own, looking at beautiful water weather. No water weather. Don't bother me. I'm trying to take a nap. I just finished those switchbacks. They were long. Remember all that crap I was talking about, how I'm stronger than 4 years ago? It might be true, but oof, I was right back there. Less than 1 mile per hour, stopping at every switchback. And there's more elevation gain that way. Stop, because this is a beautiful view of Mount Hood. I was there. We did the hike and the river crossing there. It's also a good way to say that we've exited the Mount Hood wilderness, I think. I passed a sign. All right, it's 1934 or 7:30, and I'm making camp. Throughout the day, I've made a lot of videos that I probably will cut out that have varying degrees of me saying, I'm invincible, followed probably an hour later by, I'm in over my head. So I didn't get quite as far today as I wanted to. The campsite I was targeting, which is north of Bull Lake, that doesn't sound right, Burn Lake? Either way, a lake. It's probably another 3 miles out. Again, could do it, but I was aching. I stumbled across this little pullout, which is lovely aside from the glass. And look, if I spend an extra day on the trail, I have the food. So, yeah, this is where I'm staying, and maybe you can see Mount Hood over there. This is just north of Lolo Pass, right on the border of the Cascades. There's like a ridge line that the trail's effectively walking along. And it's beautiful, but I'm exhausted. I am just... It's amazing. This morning, I really did feel invincible, and now just like standing up, I'm winded. So yeah, it's good that I'm staying here tonight. Get the camp set up. I've got tons of time before sundown, but I'll probably just like lay in bed for an extra hour while I wait for the sunset. And then yeah, we'll see how tomorrow looks. See how many miles. If what I was alluding to is I could probably get out in 2 more days or 3 more days. And if the rest of the days go similar to how this was, 3 is looking more and more likely. But we'll see. I want to film my mother's favorite part of a hike whenever there's some sort of sense of danger. Merely, this outcrop is not that bad. The trail is like, it's wide enough that I'm not worried, which is why I'm filming. If I really was worried, I'd be much more careful. But hey, another view of Mount Hood. It's getting kind of repetitive. Well, I don't know if this little camera can make it out, but there's an eagle directly overhead. I think it has a white head? No. Well, it's circling me, so maybe I look like a snack. Oh, maybe my hat looks like a snack. All right, this is about half a mile south of Indian Springs. And the first time on the trail that it's really exposed to the sun. Luckily, it's not the outrageous heat that they advertise for Portland. There's a bit of a breeze, but I still not happy. So, trying to get through as fast as possible. And yeah, it's also relatively level. If I was ascending with this, ooh, would not be happy. But hey, we can now see St. Helens, which is flat on the top, then Rainier, which is even farther away, and Adams, which is not quite as far, but it's somewhere over that way. Oh, really pretty, really sunny. First time that I'm really happy I carried too much water. Ironically, when I'm down to like 1 liter, but that should be enough. This is the Indian Springs campsite. Very exposed to the sun. And I can't find the spring. I crossed some very stale water. That might have been it. So I'm going to continue down to Watom Lake, 3 miles. So 1 liter should do fine. And I did talk to other hikers. That's where they were coming from anyway. So let's go. I don't need to worry about trails yet. Because I am at the lake. Oh, lovely campsites. I already passed two that also look similar to this. I wonder if any of these sites have lake access. As much as I dislike swimming, today might be an exception. I think somebody's scrambled down there before. But first things first, head over to Eagle Creek, refresh my water. I'm down to like 100 milliliters. So this is great. Oh, and there's a fish. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out here for a while. Good news, everyone. My Ultra has decided to add additional ventilation holes. That's how you know a quality shoe. And I did not bring a needle and thread to do rudimentary repairs, but it looks like this is non-structural. This shoe will make it through the rest of the hike, and then it will retire, as it probably should have been, considering I've repaired it multiple times before. I've never seen a sign like this before. Good to know. Granted, I've hiked through many burned areas. Let's see how severe this one is. Okay. Oh, it's only this far? All right, I'll take it. I wasn't looking forward to hiking with no foliage. I've hiked for miles in burned areas. It's not a brag, it's just something that happens out here. And it's surreal, especially an area that was burned within the last year, because you're usually walking on ashes still. But it's also not fun because it's just straight up a desert. So today's adventure looks pretty tame. I think I finally finished hiking through the burn scar. Of course, that first section was a lie. I think it was about 2 miles, but you can see the damage behind me. And even if there's more burned area, I'm now hiking on the east side of the mountain, and it's in the evening, so I should be safe from sun. But that was hot, and I'm really glad I was going downhill. So, what a fun surprise. Made camp for night 3? I think 3. Not too happy with the campsite. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I don't know if there's a campsite until about 4 more miles, and I've got about 2 hours of daylight. Again, could make it, don't want to. Biggest concern is that it's relatively exposed. I'm afraid that it's going to get windy, but I've staked down the tent as best as I could, and yeah. So overall, day 3, I paced myself a lot better than yesterday. So I also did a lot less up than yesterday. So overall, yeah, feeling a lot better, and should be able to get out tomorrow night. So this should be my last campsite. Good morning from the Benson Plateau. It's 5:20. It's already pretty sunny, and there's Mount Hood. It's beautiful out. Turns out the campsite I was at last night worked really well. There's just like a nice cool breeze. It did not get as windy as I was worried about. But overall, I am worried today a little bit about water, because the spring I was looking for last night couldn't find. It was in the burn area and all the trails were gone. So there's 2 opportunities for water I see on my map. One of them is called Dry Creek, so less than confident there. If I pass both of them, I've got 2 liters for like 12 miles, which is not what I want to do. So that's why I'm really pushing miles before the sun properly gets up. Good morning, everyone. 1 mile detour paid off. Found some water, and water came from there, and a Pop-Tart, and a lot of mosquitoes. Beats working, not 100%. So finish this Pop-Tart, finish that water, add an extra liter to today's collection, and then I should be good for the rest of the day. This fella almost caught me. Oh, goodbye. The hardest part of this hike might just be walking to the bus stop in Cascade Locks. Well, I knew that I did not like the sun. It was hot today, but it's really, really accentuated when there's no shade. And it's tarmac. There's a bus stop. Thunder Island Brewing Co. And unfortunately, the way I timed it, I'm arriving with just like 15 minutes to go, which is convenient, but I was kind of hoping to get lunch. I don't want to wait in 2 hours, hour and a half. So, either way, good hike. All right, I'll film the outro before I actually finish the hike, because I get to feature beautiful Cascade Locks in the background. And honestly, I'm 3 miles to the finish line, maybe a little bit more. But overall, a good hike. I think let's go down the list of what I learned. I learned I'm out of shape, which I knew already, but just confirmed again. I learned that I need to figure out hiking apps better. So I kept complaining about not knowing what's happening with water, and I guess there's apps that help with that. So that's my homework. And then lastly, I enjoyed the hike. Now, if I would recommend it, probably not. So it's novel that I can take a bus to the hike, although in the Portland area, it's not that novel. Like, you have to keep in mind the Timberline loop is accessible from the exact same bus, and that's incredible views, and yeah, really cool. Whereas this one was fun, there was some good views, but it was kind of a vanilla Pacific Northwest hike. So yeah, it's a reason to get outside, but it's not something that I would stop the presses over. Either way, had a good time, and I hope this video actually gets made. Thanks for watching.